Hey, we know you've seen us on Success TV on your cable station or online, and we know that you love us, well, Jennifer.
Me.
Yeah, exactly. So we always have some great guests on, and today's no different. This is a special segment, though, that we're doing, and we've got this great, good-looking guy next to you. Can you tell us a little about who he is, Jennifer?
Yeah, I was going to get my cup of coffee, and I saw this dude in this really nice suit, and I was like, well, he must be important.
Oh, let's have him on.
So I brought him some coffee, and I brought him in the studio.
Nice, nice.
So I found Cosmo Galletti. He's actually an author, speaker, and a coach, and he focuses on leadership.
Wow.
Yeah, so thanks for coming to join me.
Thank you for inviting me.
And you're from Canada, eh?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. And he's run multi-million-dollar corporations. We're like 2 million and up to what?
50 million.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, we've done that.
That's me. All the time.
Yeah. So tell us, I mean, how did that take place? You know, how did you get to the point where you're running a company that big?
Yeah, that's some serious business.
It's been a career that spans just over 20 years. So I began back in my early 20s doing operations management, flow management, that type of thing, and then moved up through different corporations through the years by advancing my career and looking at different processes and systems to be able to achieve those that growth.
So you, in management, you grew from management into administration, leadership, that kind of stuff, but...
Yes, when I left the corporate world, it was just over a year ago, and I was an executive manager inside a multinational company.
Oh, now, did that happen just like from birth, or...
Yeah, how do you
what did you do before you were a manager?
Yeah.
My personal point where everything started was back in my early 20s, 20, 21 years old, and it was a specific moment. So at that time, my family, myself, we had always been in construction, residential construction. My father was a very successful entrepreneur in his own right.
Nice.
He owned a residential contracting company where he would, back in the early 80s, would be buying homes, renovating them, and flipping them, which is very popular today. But back when he started, it was virtually unheard of. So I always look at him as one of those pioneers in that market of real estate. But during that time, I was working with him, but more because that's what I thought I should do.
Right.
And at one point, I had a small apartment on the top of a triplex, and I wasn't very satisfied with my life. I had thought in my teens that my life would be much different.
Yeah, I think we all have this grand picture of what it's supposed
Right.
to look like, and then we get there, we're like, what is this?
I remember when 21 was like old by then.
Right?
Yes.
All the
Yeah,
adults,
I know. Yeah.
multi-millionaire.
Know everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this transition all started with a conversation with my father. He used to come to my apartment all the time to check on me and ask if everything was okay. And in conversations we have now, he knew that I wasn't happy doing that. He knew it wasn't my passion, it was his passion.
Right.
So he used to come all the time and check if I was ready to have that discussion. And he caught me one day at a point of great indecision and great emotion. And at that point, it allowed him to kind of break down that wall with me and have a great conversation. And I remember the comment he said to me was, I know it's hard now, but it's okay. It'll get better and you can do it. And that comment, I've carried that with myself through my entire career, and now moving into speaking and writing and coaching other people, is that thought of, I know it feels difficult now, but it'll be okay and you can do it.
Right.
And in leadership especially, that understanding what that means for you and being able to, at those real hard moments when you're digging deep, be able to just take a step back and understand that it's difficult now, but it'll be okay and you can do it and move forward.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
let me talk to
Jim,
him.
please. This is the way it's gone for years. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, like sometimes you just have a bad day, you just want someone to hug you, like it's gonna be okay. But if you can do that to yourself,
Yes,
Like, it's so much more effective, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So you can be a leader to yourself.
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that pivotal moment, I want to find out your, I guess, definition of being a leader. You know, you've run these companies, so can you take your leadership hat off and go home and
Yeah.
just relax? Or
How does that work?
How does that work?
And during my career, I've tried that. And my
Yeah.
message today to everybody is that's not possible. Leadership is leadership. When you're a leader, you're always a leader. And every single person has that capacity within them. And it's a mindset and a decision that you make to take on that leadership role in all aspects of your life. In your relationships, how you self-manage, how you manage for others, and not in a director type.
Right, like a dictatorship leader.
Exactly.
Right.
It's in a collaborative, open way where you're inspiring people not to do what you do, but to find who they are so they can do it in a manner that's comfortable to them, that pulls on their talents.
Your dad is a good example, you know, because he kept coming and waiting for that moment.
Exactly.
He didn't make the moment happen.
Exactly. He never told me what to do. He only came to make sure, do you need me yet? Do you need
Wow.
me yet? And
Yeah.
allowed me to have that time to open up.
I love that.
That's going to stick in my head. Do you need me yet?
Yeah, right?
I like that.
Yeah, I like it too.
So when you go out and speak to people, what do you think some of the key points are? I mean, you know, we don't have 2 hours to hear your whole talk, but I mean, what do you think some of the highlights are for somebody that wants to do better or become a leader?
The first starting point is a decision in your intention as a leader.
Okay.
It's a lot of writers, a lot of speakers talk about mindset, and it's kind of become this generic term. But it's really the intent. When you think of reasons behind why you want to lead, what's the intent of your leadership? Why are you doing it?
Okay.
And what's the intention for your outcome when you start to lead? Is it all personal development? Is it all personal success? Which is fine. It's good to have the confidence to be able to ask for what you're worth. You need to do that.
Right.
And also to add, you need to have a bigger vision. And as I said, your leadership intention needs to be that of helping others, making a positive impact on the world, and bringing success to everyone around, which includes yourself.
I think that's a key point because you can become a leader in a positive way and in a negative way.
Yes.
So not only be a leader, but be a leader in.
When I always look at it in my companies, when I do coaching, and now when I reflect myself, when people say you can be a leader in a positive way and a leader in a negative way, I always look at that and just make the distinction, a leader in a positive way or a boss or a manager.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
There's a huge
yeah.
difference.
And there is a role for the manager, for the boss. There is that role in stability and creating productivity and efficiency. But
Right.
what I talk about and what I'm helping people with is the effectiveness. And Stephen Covey wrote a lot about effectiveness in his
Yes.
books. That's what I'm helping people make that transition is. This is about going where nobody's gone before.
Right,
You know,
right.
this is about that voyage into the unknown. That's the leadership role.
So they can become, there's a word I like to use when I've run companies before is that there's sometimes what I call a champion within a group of people. So they may not be the supervisor or the manager or the person with the title,
Exactly.
but they're the one that if you really want something done or you want a group inspired, if that person buys into it, they're the champion. They're kind of
Yes.
they're a leader.
They're a roving leader.
Yeah.
Right.
They may not have the title, but they're there. Now, my message is where we're moving in our economy, those are the people we need to clasp onto. Those are the people that I want to speak to. And I want to help companies leverage those people for the individual's benefit, for the
Right.
C-level executive benefit, for the corporation benefit, because in every company, there's such an impact on the community. It's not just the people that work in your company,
Yeah.
it's their families, their children,
Mm-hmm.
the store owners inside their community, people are spending money inside your community, they're building lives and relationships inside the community. That's the power of leadership inside a business.
So is that the people that you like to help become better leaders, are like C-level executives, so that the downfall is bigger?
Exactly. I like to help C-level executives, but also solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, people in smaller companies. It's not the level,
Right.
it's more the passion. When
Okay.
somebody says, I've accomplished so much and I want to get that next level,
Mm-hmm.
start digging into, as I said, intention, the mindset, and starting to give them the ability to reflect on how are they leading, and then take those strengths and talents and start to nurture those.
Okay.
So if somebody is watching us right now that is putting meetings together, a meeting planner, event planner, what type of an audience do you like to talk to? And I'll ask you a two-part question.
Okay.
What audience do you like to speak with? And what do they take with them afterwards? A lot of people go and motivate, and then they go, yeah, rah, rah. But yeah, what do they get when they hear you speak?
Yeah.
So the first part of it, who do I speak to? My focus is professional organizations, events, corporate events, where I can speak to a large group of people. People who are actually wanting that information and wanting to make that shift or that transformation inside of their mindset. And what people get is actual systems that they can implement. So what I've spent my time in the last decade doing inside of corporations is developing an actual system that helps people develop vision and purpose all the way to the daily routines and habits that they can start to create to drive that success to the vision that they're looking to get.
I think that's awesome, because a lot of people will give you systems, but they don't give you the leadership qualities to go along with it.
Yes.
So you can be given a system, and that doesn't mean you're going to be successful.
And for me personally, the way that it's developed over the years has been starting with the leadership, making those mistakes,
Right.
hurting relationships,
So you learned it.
and then
Yeah.
be able to come back and go, there's got to be a better way.
Right.
And then my last 10 years has been spent transferring that knowledge to different people within organizations,
Right.
and then the last 3 years of business coaching, I've been transferring that to entrepreneurs, to business leaders, and saying,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, you made those mistakes, that's okay. We can
Right.
we can go back.
Here's the systems, here's the
Right.
points, and all
Exactly, and
that.
it's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about having that dedication to always go forward and go back and make the repair of that relationship or make that change.
Well, this is exciting because they actually lead with something. So
Yeah,
how
right,
do people get in touch with you? How
So-
can they contact you?
People can get in touch with me either from my website at acgalletti, GALLETTI.com, or you can email me directly at a.cosmo@acgalletti.com, or at my info email address, which is info@acgalletti.com.
Lots of options.
Well, thanks for being on the show. We
Thank you very
appreciate it.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
And remember, if you're thinking about being successful, then
Stop thinking about it
start doing something about it. We want to know by
next week
that you've done at least one more thing that's gotten you closer.
to your success.
Have a great day.